2049. Today I will present about title research, conceptual framework on demographic segmentation and customer perception towards halal food in MAHD, Malaysia. Organization and sector background. MAHD was founded by two brother research and published MAHD in 1937 in California. In Malaysia, MAHD progressively looking at plan to develop aspect of their business franchise here. Stretching of history, MAHD names in Malaysia is named in Malaysia of the first time in December 1980 when United States MAHD operating over Gulf Achers Restaurant Sdn Bhd, a license to operate MAHD restaurant chain in Malaysia. Now MAHD Malaysia has a total of 204 restaurant, new wellness network and make new restaurant with a project growth rate of between 15 and 20 restaurants annually, which this operating of this new restaurant, of course, employment opportunity of local residents also increase. Segmentation of problem. The problem faced by MAHD is the presence of odd fact known as L8 and has been found that their sources say that is no true in the allegation. Research objective. Research objective 1. To identify level halal food issue are perceived by customer on MAHD Malaysia. Research objective 2. To determine level of customer awareness on halal food at MAHD Malaysia. Research objective 3. To examine the relationship between halal food issues and the perceived customer awareness on MAHD Malaysia. Research question 1. What are demographic segmentation of the consumer that create halal at MAHD Malaysia? Research question 2. What are the customer main perception towards halal food at MAHD Malaysia? Research question 3. There are influence on demographic segmentation toward customer perception at MAHD Malaysia.
Hi, Assalamualaikum. My name is NURSHAZWA binti ABDUL HALIM. My metric number A180792. So I will present chapter 1, part significance of wishes. This study will have extract reason on research problem that could potentially affect McDonald's, both objectively and subjectively, also may have some implication in improving in business name, in increasing customer satisfaction, in attracting many customers to go to their store, and ensuring customers give a positive perception of their business. Next is limitation of wishes. Participants in this study will be limited to McDonald's customers who only focus in perkara cepat Kelantan. The researchers decide to go to a specific location to measure the conceptualization of demographic segmentation and customer perception. And for the definition of term, demographic segmentation. Demographic segmentation divide the market into smaller categories based on demographic factors such as age, gender, income, occupation, ethnicity, and religion. For customer perception is a marketing concept that encompasses the impact awareness of the customer on the company or its offering. Some factors that influence customer perception include advertising and personal experience. For the chapter 1 summary, the introduction, background of the study, problem statement, research question, research objective, research hypothesis, scope of the study, significance of the research, and limitation of the research. So move to chapter 2, literature review. For introduction, in this chapter, the focus is mainly on the explanation of independent and independent variable for this study. Small parts include basic theory of research, review on reviews on independent and independent variable, research framework, research hypothesis, and conclusion. For dependent variable, customer perception. The official definition of customer perception is the concept of marketing include an effect awareness or customer awareness of his company or presentation. And last, independent variable is demographic segmentation. Demographic segmentation divide the market into smaller categories based on demographic factors such as age, occupation, religion, ethnicity, and income.
Alright, we go through the conceptual framework, which is a defined variable, which is a demographic segmentation, halal food, and also customer perceptions. Demographic segmentation divides the market into smaller categories based on demographic factors such as age, occupation, religion, ethnicity, and also income. Instead of reaching the entire market, brands use this method to center their resources into the specified group in that market. Halal food. The word halal literally means permissible, and its translation is usually as a lawful. The Halal Food Authority rules for halal are based on Islamic Sharia, which is guarantee halal. For Muslim food or any other term that may be used indicate or be understood as meaning indicate it is permissible to be eaten by a Muslim. Customer perceptions. The formal definition of customer perception is about a marketing concept that encompasses a customer impression, awareness, and or a consciousness about a company or its offering. Alright, the relationship between independent and dependent variable. Independent variables are variables that are altered or manipulated by the researcher, and dependent variables are measured by responses. The independent variable or IV is the expected cost, whereas the dependent variable is the expected effect. According to the title of this research, halal food issue is a dependent variable and an independent variable is perceived customers about halal food at McDonald's in Malaysia. Related theories and models. In the context of McDonald's Malaysia, many assume that the company has sold non-halal food. There are allegations that the problem facing McDonald's is that a presence of lactan known as LM10 has been found in their sauce, saying there is no wrong charge. The approach from the study is population, and the sample population is all Malaysian, while the sample consists of all customers who experience or buy McDonald's. The sampling strategy is expressed as selecting a certain population. For example, the researcher research on McDonald's in Malaysia. Research are studying what is demographic segmentation among consumers who consume that halal food at McDonald's Malaysia. What are the main perceptions of customers toward halal food at McDonald's Malaysia, and is there any influence on customer perception at McDonald's Malaysia? Moderating value. The word halal means allow, and inside the translation is usually used as valid. Halal food board halal rules based on Islamic Sharia. In Malaysia, the party that plays the biggest role in determining halal a Muslim food, beverage and consumable in the Department of Development Islam Malaysia JAKIM has provided a guidelines related to the nutrition based on Quranic sources and shoulders to go on it. And the last is a chapter summary. The research framework also serves as the conceptual framework of the study, which describes the relationship between halal food and perception of McDonald's. The researcher also described the variable involved in the study, which is the evaluation of the sampling of all customers in McDonald's related to their perception of McDonald's halal food service in Malaysia.
Okay, for the chapter 3, methodology. For introduction, the appropriate methodology to be used in this study on firstly the issues relating to demographic segmentation and customer perception of halal food in McDonald's Malaysia. Secondly, the relationship between demographic segmentation and customer perception of halal food in McDonald's Malaysia will be discussed. Okay, for the research design, it is about organizing research activity including the collection of data in ways that are most likely to achieve the research objective. Okay, this study will choose survey technique and questionnaires to collect the data. According to Newman 2003, survey are appropriate for research question about self-report, belief or behavior. Okay, for the sampling frame, list or simple will be taken from all customer of McDonald's. Okay, this research, the sampling frame will be the number of respondents based on perception and halal food in Malaysia. Okay, Malaysia are known as the sampling frame of this study. Among 265 respondents from both frames have been selected randomly and are known as the sampling frame of these studies. Okay, for the sample size, determining the sample size is about research objective, the extent of precision desired, the confidence interval, the acceptable risk in predicting that level of precision, and the amount of variability in the population itself. Okay, for the population size of Malaysia is 32 million people. Okay, for the confidence level is 95%, margin error is 5%, and so the sample size is 385. Okay, for the population frame, a total of 282 total McDonald's outlet in Malaysia will be identified. Okay, for the sampling technique, as all the customer who experience or purchase McDonald's will be participating, no sampling technique will be used. Okay, for the unit of analysis will be the customer that have experience consume McDonald's Malaysia. For a representative of McDonald's Malaysia will be the whole customer that have experience consume McDonald's. Thank you.
Instrument. In this study, the research developer lecturer for the previous research and use the question as the instrument to orbit the data. Section A. In the section A, research using normal scale to orbit information about the geography segmentation. Normally, scale is used to identify to the general information of the respondent like age, occupation, ethnic, region, and income level. For the section B, to examine the relationship between issue and demographic segmentation and customer perception through halal food in McDonald's Malaysia. To measure technique for section B, we use based on 5-point light cycle, ring it for the 5 strong agree to the 1 strong disagree. For the response scalar, the score you use represent the first instrument with based on the 5-point Likert stacker, while the second part of the part second and the part instrument we use a 7-point stacker. After review the recommendation from the expert panel, the scale for the all instrument have been standard to 7-point stacker. For the reliability and variability, reliability is the mean the consistent stability, repeatability of the result, which is mean the result can be retested. Variety is the instrument. The instrument variety is the main cause of in research. For example, the research can be tested for a small group of respondents and orbit the result. Then we continue at a fixed amount of respondent and the result constant. Then is a reliability data and result. Data collection producer. This research use primary and secondary data. Primary source is data employed collection of data from the source of origin, which is our questionnaire. Method of data collection is quite popular. The questionnaire will be distributed to the respondent, where the respondent will be respond to the questionnaire specifically, which either be a semester personal face-to-face or electronic distribute at the Google form. Plan of data analysis. Research objective. We have a research objective: variable, measuring, scattered, and statistic. First, research objective is to identify the level of halal issue perceived by customer of McDonald's Malaysia. And then the second research objective to determine the level customer awareness of the halal food McDonald's Malaysia. Then third one is to examine the relationship between halal food issue and perceived customer awareness on McDonald's Malaysia. For the available level definition in terms of instead construct the related degree as an issue. For the second one, the independent variable involved in the term of its previous activity and to search at how much variety that can be described in the dependent variable. Third one is associate between the independent and dependent variable are measuring in the term of their relationship, association, magnitude and direction. For the measuring, the first one is statement related to food issue are perceived by customer. The second one is a measure on the perceived level and of the customer awareness on the halal food at McDonald's Malaysia. And the third one is measuring the magnitude or direction for the relationship between the independent and dependent variable. For all the scales we use inverted, and then for the statistic, the first one is discussion statistic, mean, median, standard deviation, minimum, maximum, secondary, close. And same thing the second objective. And the third one is we use a inverted statistic, is a correlation analysis and present. For the chapter summary, this chapter discuss the quantitative analysis approach that will be used in the study. The step will be undertaken by the research, begin with the aim of the research, the identified of the sample, the instrument, questionnaire to be used, and the mode of the data analysis. That's all for me and my group. Thank you.